What's going on, you? There we go. What's going on, you guys? What is going on? What is going on, y'all? This be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 10, Episode 14. What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, and I intend on doing the exact same thing, you guys. What is going on, y'all? What's goody? Okay, listen. Listen, let me explain. Now, I know this live was originally set for last night at 10:35, as it always is. But Josiah was in town yesterday, and him and Sakina came over to the house yesterday. And Sakina really didn't leave the house. I think Josiah left a little earlier than Sakina did. Sakina left the house around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I was entertaining them over here at the house. So they came over here, and me, Josiah, Sakina, Jamar, we was all sitting around having conversation, watching TV, just doing friend stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So it's always good to hang out with Sakina and Josiah, and hang out with Jamar all day, every day. So that's another story. But it was a great time. Josiah was just visiting, and just having a good time. So that's the reason why the live got pushed back. Because I knew once Akina left the house, I'm like, baby, I'm finna go to sleep because I got to be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, at 6 o'clock in the morning. And in 2026, I'm prioritizing my rest. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. I'm prioritizing my rest. I'm going to make sure I get my rest. Y'all are still going to get consistent videos. But if I have to work on multiple videos every day so y'all can have a video out, whether it's sometimes y'all might not get no lives every day. Y'all might get some premieres because it's easier to record. So I can record that in the same day and put it out the next day. I got to prioritize my rest, you guys. That is my main goal this year, is to prioritize my rest. Because even when Josiah and Sakina came over to the house yesterday, I fell asleep on them while they were sitting at the house. No lies. Sakina and Josiah kept saying, if you need us to go home so y'all can go, so you can go to sleep, just tell us. And I'm like, I ain't sleep. And I kept nodding off. Sakina got in my ass about that, though. She let my ass have it, okay? But that's what I love about Sakina. Even though she's younger than me, that's like little sis, but she gonna always get up in my ass whenever she sees fit. And I like friends like that. I like friends that is gonna get me together, especially about things that's very important. So my rest is very important. That's why this live was set for 6:30, because once I got home from work, I took my ass to sleep. Okay, so yeah, I need to just get my resting together. I know everybody would agree. Just a quick let you know, the Scene ATL is going on a 2-week break. So do not expect the episode this Wednesday, but what you can expect is the mid-season trailer, because we're now into the mid-season. Y'all got 4 more episodes left. And they're going to be great. They're going to be doozies. You're going to dive more into our personal lives for the next couple of episodes. And then by the 8th, but y'all still going to get y'all daily. Y'all going to get some drama by the last 2 episodes. But y'all are definitely about to get into our personal life. And episode 5, which is the very next episode, is very vital for me. And like I told y'all before, it is very nerve-wracking. I'm very nervous and antsy about this episode coming out. It's very, very raw, and especially on my end. Like I told y'all, I shared a whole lot, and baby, I did. Get your rest, Scotty by Nature TV. We need you at your best. Thank you, Ravine. I really appreciate it. You look good, heavier. Heavier? What you mean heavier? A nigga still skinny. What you mean? I'm not heavy. What you talking about? But however, we're about to go ahead and get into this week's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, because it was kind of interesting. I would say that I think I have a couple of things that I do want to discuss from this episode that I think is very important and things like that. Okay. So we're going to start this thing off with Letitia and Marcel, right? They argue over the office not being completed, right? And Marcel, you look small on camera. Oh, okay. Okay. What happened? Okay, so Letitia was basically kind of in her feelings because The office that she's always wanted is not done, basically. And Marceau is getting frustrated because he feels like he's doing his best to get everything done the way that she wants it to, but she really don't feel like it's really at his best. She feels like he could do much better with getting everything together. And Tisha is basically saying, I'm not trying to hound you and I'm not trying to dog you. All I'm saying is I just need for things to be done. If we said we're going to get things done, then baby, let's get them done. And to be honest, although Tisha has been getting on my motherfucking nerves for the last episode or two, I do agree with her on that. I like to get things done. When I set my mind to something, and especially if I got it in the palm of somebody else's hands, if I'm telling you, this is what I need, this is what I want, I need it done by this time, I want it done by that time. I'm going to need for you to get it done when I ask you to get it done, because there's a reason why I want it to be done at that particular time. There's a reason why I want it to be done, period. So don't get upset because I'm asking you to do what I need for you to do. Just do what I need for you to do so we can move forward. I just want my shit to be done in a certain manner, in a certain way. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with me wanting my shit to be done in a certain area, in a certain way, and things like that. So I really don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that Marceau is really understanding. And Tisha was basically saying, I love being at home with my kids. I love being a stay-at-home mom. But at the same time, I really don't want to be at home working. I don't want to be at the house. I want to get out of the house. I want to be able to get dressed, leave home, go to my damn office. That's what I want to do. And to be honest, I do understand what Tisha is saying. Love being at home, but sometimes when you're at home way too much, you feel like a prisoner, and that's all you got is to be at the house. So I definitely understand where she's coming from. And I felt like Tisha was really explaining herself in the most perfect way than she's ever had, because Tisha don't really know how to express herself. Hell, Tisha barely know how to talk half of the goddamn time. But this is the one time where I definitely understood where Tisha was coming from. And this is the one time where I felt like she was really being vulnerable and being open and being honest. Because for the last couple of years, we've only been seeing Letitia and Marceau on the surface, because they never want to talk about nothing. They rather talk about everybody else and what the fuck they got going on, but they don't ever want to talk about their own issues. So for once, we're looking at them and we're seeing them open up, but it could have been a trust factor. They probably didn't trust the people that was on the show with them, and that's why they didn't want to talk about transparent things. And to be honest, where's Martell? I haven't seen Martell much. I don't think he was on the last episode, and he was nowhere to be found on this episode. So are they slowly but surely phasing Martell out of the show? Because there was a time where we would look at this show and we'll be like, oh my God, we need Martell. Oh my God, we need Saints and Sinners. We need them both on the show. But at this point, with this particular episode, I really do feel like neither one of them are not needed. And I did not realize that Martell was really gone like that. But I really believe that the only way that Martell would be even remotely interesting in this era of Love and Marriage Huntsville is if Ariane Curry bring her popsicle feeding her kids' ass to the damn show. But at this particular point, though, I think that ship has sailed and no one cares enough to have Ariane on the show. And if you really want to be real, Ariane is not even entertaining enough to be on no damn reality show, to be honest. My honest opinion, looking at her lives is like watching paint dry. All she do is talk about the same old shit over and over again. All she really does is talk about what she know about somebody else's husband. All she do is get on here. You know me, Nay. You know me, Nay. 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 You know me, Nay. You know me, Nay. All that shit. So it's like, that's the only way Martell would be remotely interesting, is if he brings her to the show. But I don't think that bringing her to the show is going to do any good, because no one else is going to want to film with her. Maybe Destiny, but I don't see nobody else film with her. I'm just being real. Marceau says that Tisha doesn't feel backed a lot of the times. Like, he feels like she doesn't feel like she's being backed up by him in certain situations. And if you want me to be real, Marceau, you don't be backing Tisha in a lot of shit. And we're going to get more into that down the line as this episode continues, but there are a lot of times where it does feel like teacher picks up a lot of slack based off of your actions. And I totally understand where that comes from when you are dealing with someone and you have a partner and their actions pretty much affects you indirectly but directly, because people only drag you or judge you based off of the motherfucker you with. So I definitely understand that attitude. So it is what it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into Kimmy and Maurice, y'all. So Maurice was basically saying that Monster is not doing what he was supposed to do. He said that him and Monster had a deal. They had a pact. They said if Monster pulls his grades up, he can get a new car. Number one, please stop calling that teenage boy Monster. I hate that goddamn name. Whenever I hear the word Monster, I'm thinking about the energy drink that I buy every fucking morning. I don't want you to keep calling that boy Monster. I know that's your child, and I got nothing to do with it. I know I don't, and I cracked that note, but I know that I ain't got nothing to do with it because it is your child. I understand it, but I cannot stand to hear y'all call that young ass boy, well, now that old ass boy, Monster. Call that boy by his name. I don't want that boy to be 23 years old still being called Monster. Okay, I'm just But anyway, he said that Monster is not doing what he's supposed to do now. Now, Maurice done bought the boy a car, but he still got the car keys because Monster ain't doing what he's supposed to do. Now, here's my thing about the situation. I want to know what kind of car you bought him. Because when I was growing up, let me tell y'all, when I was a teenager, it wasn't that I was dumb, because I was actually very smart. That's what my teachers would always say. My teachers would always say that Scotty is very intelligent. Scotty is smart. He just doesn't apply himself to doing anything. He would rather be silly. That was kind of true. I like to sit in class and make everybody laugh. I can say that I was doing that by my junior and senior year, because the first 2 years I was being bullied. But once I got that voice, you couldn't shut me the fuck up. So a lot of times I had to use my voice to get what I wanted and use my voice to get kicked out of class. Like, that's what used to happen to me. So all I wanted was a Honda Accord. That's all the fuck I wanted was a motherfucking Honda Accord. Don't give me nothing fancy. Give me a motherfucking Honda Accord. Long as back then, all I wanted was a Honda Accord. Long as the air worked, the heat worked, and I had me a good ass CD player so I could play my mix CDs and play my Keisha Cole and my Chris Brown. Baby, I don't care. Give me a Honda Accord. Of course, I didn't get it because I didn't apply myself, but you get my drift. But I did get my Honda Accord when I got to college, though. I did get my Honda Accord when I got to college, but that's another story. But however, he just feels like Monster is not doing what he's supposed to do. And he said, now when it came down to Jalen, they didn't really have to tell Jalen to do much of anything. Jalen just gets it done. But see, that's the problem, though. You can't compare kids. You cannot compare kids. You just can't. And all by you comparing your children, it does nothing but create sibling rivalries, if you get what I'm saying. Because I know that parents are not trying to create that, but it creates envy and jealousy with the siblings. Because I know that when it was me, and when I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do in school, but yet my sister was bringing home great grades, although that bitch used to fight all the time and get suspended, but still brought home A's and B's, where my ass was really struggling because I had other things going on in my mind, and I really wasn't, and I wasn't really applying myself, so my grades weren't the best. So it's kind of like this. I used to feel a way when, be like, yo, sister can do this, but why you can't do it? I don't understand why she gets suspended and fight and still bring home good grades, and you don't even get suspended. You've never been suspended. You never get in trouble, but yet and still you can't bring home the grades that I feel like you should. Don't compare me to her. You have no idea what I got going on in my head because you're not taking the opportunity to ask me what's going on with me. All you just see is that I'm not doing what you want me to do. I'm not meeting up to your expectations. That is the problem. So Kimmy was trying to explain to Maurice about his expectations and how his expectations could possibly be a problem for Monster. I just feel like at this point, because I'm nobody's parent, okay? I'm nobody's parent. I don't aspire to be anybody's parent. So I probably shouldn't even be speaking on this type of shit. But I do think that we need to stop harping on our expectations. We got to realize that our kids are going to be who they are, and they're going to do what they are going to do. They're not going to always be like us. And a lot of times people, excuse me, people want their kids to turn out to be just like them. And sometimes it's not possible for them to turn out to be just like them. And sometimes parents want their kids to not be like them, and they still turn out to be like them. Sometimes you can do whatever you possibly can to teach your kids a way that you want them to be, but in the same breath, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you can't really sit up there and put all of your high expectations on somebody when, you know what I'm saying? Let me see. His mama raised him right. Maurice ain't spent enough time with that boy. And I do agree with that. I feel like Maurice spent a lot of his time working and doing what he wanted to do. And Kiowa was pretty much, giving him what he needed. And if you look at old episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville, I know that a lot of people back then did not like Kiowa over the way she was acting pretty bitter about Maurice, because I know I didn't like Kiowa either back then. But when I watch like the older episodes and I see the difference in Monster's attitude towards his mama and his daddy, when Monster's around his father, he just seems like he's just there, like, okay, I'm here talking to my dad, blah blah blah. But when Kiowa will call him on FaceTime, or when Kiowa comes into Huntsville, it's like his whole face will light up when Kiowa comes in. And I think it's a respect factor. I think that he shows more respect to Kiowa and he has less respect for Maurice. I could be reaching and I could be looking way too deep into this shit, to be honest. I could be looking way too deep in this. I might not even be right. I might not even be correct in this. But I do think that there is a possibility that he likes Kiowa more than he likes Maurice. And if that is the case, I don't blame him, because I would like Kiowa more than Maurice, to be quite honest. Look at the way Maurice acts. They say, I'm sure Maurice talks at his son and not to him. And I definitely think that too. I definitely think that. And I think that Maurice doesn't see the error in his ways, because even with Jalen, he felt some kind of way when Jalen said that he looked to Marceau more as a father figure than Maurice. And Maurice was the supposed father figure that was living in the house with him and supposed to play a fatherly role to him. And he didn't get that fatherly love from Maurice. And he acted like he couldn't understand that. But I understood Jalen fully, because the man that my mother was married to and my brother's dad, that man was in my life from age 4 all the way up to age 25. No, all the way up to age 26. And I never felt any fatherly love from him. He was just the man that my mama was married to. I never felt fatherly love from my stepfather. Never. I hated him most of the time. And we didn't start getting along till after I tried to fight him. And then after that, I never, even before that, I didn't like him, because he was an abusive ass prick. But that's another story. But I never felt that way. So I tried to find, that male energy from other people, like my Auntie Bobby's husband. But then he stopped treating me like his son and stopped taking up time with me. And now I was just left out there with no male structure. So yeah, it's possible to live in a house with a man that's supposed to be a father figure to you, and you don't see him as a father figure. You just see him as another warm body that's in your house. I understood where Jalen was coming from with that. But Maurice didn't understand, and he didn't want to understand, because he thinks he's so damn polished and perfect, and that bitch ain't polished and perfect. Maurice also parented Jalen differently from Monster, and Kimmy was asking him to back her up when trying to discipline him, and Maurice didn't. Exactly. I don't see what Kimmy sees in Maurice. I don't either. Not reaching. Maurice is not hands-on like MJ need him to be. And that is true. He feels like just giving him shit is a way to raise him. And that's not it. It's not always about what you give them. I think Maurice treats him like an afterthought and everything is a lesson. I agree. Maurice is trying to get Kimmy to raise MJ instead of himself. Right. I think Kimmy do a lot, and Maurice expect to get credit for what Kimmy does with parenting. Totally, I'm totally agreeing with a lot of the things that you guys are saying in the comments. Like a lot of these things are things that I was thinking about myself. Those are things, you know what I mean? Like I do feel like Kimmy probably does more of the parenting than Maurice does. And I feel like this at the end of the day, your ass sat up there and cried about having your son in the house full time, and look at what's going on with him. It don't look like it's working out for him too well. Maurice doesn't enjoy being constructively criticized or reprimanded or corrected. And Pain, I promise you that is all facts. Maurice can give the criticism. Maurice can constructively criticize somebody, but can't nobody criticize him and can't nobody tell him what the fuck he doing wrong. Because he got all the answers. Because I am the responsible one. I am the, what she say? I am the responsible one. I am the no, what she say? Because he is the oldest one. He's the responsible one. He's the one that graduated from law school. You're the one that dropped out when you were 19. That's the type of attitude that he got. Okay. That's the type of attitude that he gives off. And he gets on my nerves. This is why I don't like that lemon head ass bitch. He always want to bring shit up and act like he's so perfect and polished. But when somebody criticizes him, then he realizes that he ain't too fucking perfect, is he? Okay. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Please get out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm just saying. Where we at? And then Kimmy wants to talk about therapy, and it already looks like Maurice don't want to go to therapy. He don't want to do no therapy because he feels like he's perfect. Once again, bitch, ain't nobody perfect. Anybody can benefit from going to therapy. Cause baby, I can benefit from going to therapy. Like I've been working on myself by myself, but with a therapist, that'll mold me. Okay, I have a whole lot of things to work on. While I've worked on a lot of things like, you know, my temper and stuff like that, but the way I respond to certain things is also something that needs to be worked. Me trying to get over childhood traumas needs to be worked on. I talk about it with y'all a lot, but I need to talk about it with a therapist as well. Therapy is the thing. And I can't wait to go to my first therapy session, honey. I can't wait to go. I'm gonna tell y'all all about it when it happens. But that's just the truth of it. So it is what it is. Now, before we move on to the next thing, it says Maurice wanted his son to live with him because it made him for the aesthetic. That's why I've always felt like Maurice was never really genuine about wanting his son to live with him. He wanted that son to stay in the house with him so he can look like the doting father, and him and Kimmy can have this all-American dream of a family. That's what they wanted. And yeah, nah, I ain't with that. No. I honestly feel like Maurice and Marceau are just saying what they need to say to get on the viewer's good side. I don't think they mean anything they said this episode. Oh, wow. Now, that's a lot to say. Going to therapy would challenge his logic and force him to be a better person in totality. I agree. And that's the reason why he don't want to go. But let's move on to the next topic. Let's get into Chris and Nell, y'all. Now, let me tell y'all, and I said this to my mom when I was talking to her on the phone earlier today. Let me just say this. I feel like Letitia and Kimmy are trying to be in charge of the girls. I feel like they're trying to anchor this show, and I feel like they're trying to whip the girls into shape. That's what I'm getting from them, right? However, what they've done is, although they've set their asses up here and have gone out of their way to go in on Nell and say this about Nell and say that about Nell and all this other shit. You feel what I'm saying? What they've done is inadvertently made Nell in charge of the girls. Now, I don't know if y'all agree with that or not. I don't know. And if you don't, I don't give a damn. But in my opinion, at this point in time, they have made Nell be in charge of the goddamn girls. That's who is in charge of the girls. They've made this show about Nell. As much as Nell gets on our goddamn nerves for the most part, she is in charge of the girls. Nell deserves the seat next to Carlos. Nell is running the show. And can't nobody tell me anything different. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. This show is about Nell. This is Nell's show. Okay, y'all sit up there and try to make her be, try to make her be the villain, but she is the person that is carrying the show on her back, similar to me in the scene. Let me stop. But she is carrying the show on her back, like completely. She was talking about transparency. And she says that she feels like Kimmy and Letitia are not transparent about anything that goes on in their life. They expect everybody else to be transparent, but they're not necessarily transparent. So she feels like if they're not going to share anything about their lives or share anything about them per se, then why should I share anything about my life? To be honest, I know I give Nell a hard time, but I do understand what she's saying. I do understand what she's saying, and I get exactly what she's saying, because I feel as though if y'all want me to be transparent and y'all want me to share and open up about my life to you motherfuckers, then why won't y'all open up about yours? Why won't y'all open up about y'all life? Because at the end of the day, I don't have to open up myself and open up my life to you motherfuckers and y'all not doing the same thing. Like it don't make sense. It's like if I'm sitting up here doing all this work and all of this shit, you feel what I'm saying? Why would I sit up here and just willingly give you guys my business and give you guys the keys to my world when I cannot get a bus to y'all world because y'all keep everything in-house? So that don't make sense to me. And I'm just saying it just doesn't make sense. So I get where Nell coming from. Chris wants to know what is the real issue between her and Tisha. Nell says the issue with her and Tisha is Chris and Marceau. So Chris was like, well, what is the issue? Why are me and Marceau the issue? Me and Marceau are cool. And then Nell says, yeah, y'all are cool and y'all are good, but people in the streets have said things about y'all and who y'all are possibly sleeping with, who y'all done took down in the past and all of this other stuff. So that's what they talk about. So it's kind of like it is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? She says that, well, no, Chris says that the first thing that Tisha said a long time ago was she's not going to listen to social media, and social media should not paint their narrative, their family narratives, which is true. Social media should not paint your narrative. You know, when you're on a reality show, people are going to take whatever they want, although it's entertainment. They're going to take whatever they want and they're going to make their own, their own story or their own narrative. That's what they're going to do. With me being on the scene ATL, they're watching me and Bando on this show, and all they're seeing is what is being shown on the show. They don't necessarily know everything that's been going on. They don't know what's going on as of January the 4th right about now. Like, things are totally different on January the 4th than they were in July when we were filming those scenes that y'all just seen in episodes 3 and 4. It was very different. So my thing is, people are going to watch the show and come up with their own narrative. That's just what happens. So she's saying that social media shouldn't paint it, and it shouldn't, but it definitely does. And the way that y'all act doesn't help. Let's see. So she says, but I guess she got mad because I said something about her marriage. And Chris said, well, what did you say about her marriage then, Neil? Like, what did you say? She says, I told Destiny that Tisha better stop fucking with me or I will bring up shit that I know personally about her marriage. And I meant what I said. And hey, as much as I don't appreciate people bringing up other folks' marriages and all that other rigmarole, I feel like this. Tisha brings up other folks' shit all the time. Tisha has slyway shit to say about folks' marriages and things like that all the time. She always has. So she can't necessarily be all up in the tizzy because somebody's saying something about her shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you can't get mad, because if you can sit up here and talk about everybody else's shit, then you can deal with the fact that your shit is also being discussed and talked about. I mean, that's all I'm saying. But Tisha has never been the type to take what she dishes out either. You feel what I'm saying? She never really takes She never really takes what she dishes out. Like, she dishes shit out, but she can never take what she dishes out, which is so crazy to me. But that's neither here nor the fuck is it there. Now, is it? Okay. So let's move on to the next thing, right? Letitia and Marceau, they seek a sexologist, and they're talking about intimacy versus sexuality. And Marceau says that he is the more intimate one. Sometimes he just wants a hug. He doesn't necessarily want to have sex all the time, but he wants a hug sometimes. It's Tisha that goes into the sex thing. Okay. I don't think that that's necessarily untrue. I could see her being the one to go into the sex thing and be like, yeah, girl. Yeah, we finna fuck. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, I'd be the same way. No lie. But, you know, sometimes she thinks that once her husband asks for a hug and shit like that, that could be the thing of, that could be the situation as to, well, this is going to lead into a sexual thing. And it doesn't always have to do that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Where we at? So, and it's so crazy because Marceau and Maurice is totally different from when they had sex. Letitia tells Marceau that she feels like she always has to fight for Marceau. She always has to defend Marceau. She always has to defend his name. Marceau says, but why do you feel like you got to do that? She said, because you're my husband. That's why I feel like I got to do that. So he looks at her and said, do I defend myself? She was like, no, because you don't care. And he was like, right. So if I don't care, why do you feel like you need to jump in to defend me? I don't give a damn. You shouldn't either. That's easier said than done, though. That's easier said than done. Because if I'm with somebody and they are being like disrespected, they're being talked about, is narratives being placed upon them, I feel like it's my duty to defend it, to defend him. Although he don't care what nobody say. He don't care what the narratives are. He don't care how anybody looks at us. He doesn't care about how people look at him. He could care less. I probably care more than he does. But I'm going to defend him because that's my man. So I'm going to defend him. And although my man says you don't have to say anything, you don't need to defend me. You don't have to defend us. I could care less. We know what our narrative really is. We don't have to defend it to the public because the public are going to take whatever they want. They're going to eat up whatever they want. And there's nothing that we could do about it. And that is so true. But it does look crazy sometimes when Tisha is out here going to bat for Marceau and Marceau really ain't going to bat for her. So I get why she fights for him. I do understand why she does fight for him. I get it. But I do understand also where Marceau's coming from. If he's saying, I don't give a fuck, you shouldn't either, girl, leave it alone. Don't give a fuck because he don't either. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something that I got to learn because I find myself defending, my nigga all the time. That's what I find myself doing a lot. And I don't have to, but I do because I'm going to defend what's mine. I'm going to protect what's mine. I'm going to do whatever. If you mind, then I'm going to protect you at all costs. I don't need protection because I'm a gangster. I don't need no protection. However, I'm going to protect you. I don't give a fuck who you are. Moving on to the next. Kimmy and Maurice. Now, this is the scene that irked me. And I feel like I might get to screaming a little bit. I feel like I might start yelling a little bit, and y'all know how y'all feel about me sometimes when I get to screaming and yelling and when their passion comes out. But I'm very, very passionate about this because I really don't like what Maurice is putting down. So they're in therapy, right? And Kimmy feels that she doesn't get a lot of quality time. Kimmy feels like quality time is important. Intimacy is important. Maurice says that sex is important. So he feels like whenever they get time to have sex, that is their quality time. But Kimmy and the therapist are both saying that quality time and sex are not the same thing. And it's not. It's not the same thing. It's not the same fucking thing. When I say I want to spend quality time with you, okay, boom. Quality time is, for me, it's like this. Hey, what are you doing today? Are you off today? Okay, cool. Can you come over to the house? I just want you to lay in bed with me and watch the Miss Pat show with me. Okay. Quality time. Hey, what are you doing today? Let's go to the park and just walk in the park and just sit down on the bench and just have some intimate conversation. Okay. Hey, what are you doing? Let's meet up at JR Crickets and we can go get some wings together. Or let's go to Hobnob. I know that's one of your favorite restaurants. Let's go eat. Or, let's do that. Or hey, I just don't want to be alone tonight. Can you come here? Can you come over? Can you lay in bed with me until I fall asleep? Can you do that? That's all I'm saying. Hey, Divorced Sisters is coming on. I know you don't watch it, but can you come over and watch a movie? Can you come over here and watch this show with me? You'll probably like it. Like, that is quality time. That's not sex. Sex is a different situation. Now, do I like sex? Yes. Do I love sex? Absolutely. But that's not the same thing. If I say I want some QT, that don't mean I'm saying I want to fuck. If I want to fuck, I just say, can you come over and put it down? Well, let me put it down. Whichever one I want to be today. That's a difference. Maurice is a fucking sex addict. That's really what he is giving me right now. The bitch is a sex addict because it's always all about sex. Any motherfucking time. Anytime you pretty much make your wife have sex while she's going through cancer and chemo and all of this other shit, and she's telling you that she doesn't enjoy it because of her body and the way she feels and things like that, that's a problem. Because sex is not that fucking important. It's important, but it ain't that goddamn important. I can go without sex. I'm fine with laying in the bed kissing you all day. I'm fine with laying in the bed cuddled up with you all day and us not saying a word, or us just listening to music, just laying there together. That's all I can care about. I don't care about shit. I don't have to have sex with you. I really don't. Do I want to have sex with you? Yes. As many times as I want to. But it's not always about that. And I just feel like Maurice is acting like a damn horny ass teenager, and it was irritating me. Kimmy says he wants too much sex. He do. Anytime you're asking someone to have sex with you 2 to 3 times a day, that's too much. That's excessive. That's like, you cannot live without sex. If you want to fuck that much, go on Twitter, find a porn, and get it off. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Let me see. When he made the statement saying when he grew up, all he heard was a woman can lay down longer than you can stand up. If that's not the most misogynistic bullshit I've ever heard in my life. If that's not the most misogynistic bullshit I have heard in my motherfucking life. Seriously. That's what we doing? So your wife is nothing but a headboard to you, basically. Like, your wife is not important to you unless she's fucking you. If all you want to do is fuck, you didn't need to get married. And my thing is this. I feel like Kimmy has way more sense than what she lets on. Oh my God, T. I'm sorry, y'all. T just texted me. That was kind of alarming. What was I finna say? But yeah, that pissed me off. So all your wife is your Molly the maid, your sex machine, your sexomatic. And the fact that you use your daddy locking up the refrigerator as equivalent to your wife locking her pussy up is ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous to me, and it's never gonna make no sense to me. Like, come on now. No, that doesn't make sense. It'll never make sense, and it's not equivalent. Why are you using your childhood trauma to defend your sexual addiction? Because that's exactly what the fuck this is, a sexual addiction. And can't nobody tell me anything different. He got a sex addiction, and it's not cute. It's not cute. It ain't cute. It's not cute. It'll never be cute. And he can go somewhere and sit his bitch ass down with that. Like, for real, for real. Like, that's what he can do. Let me see where we at. Maurice says that intimacy is not going to happen on his end. Kimmy starts getting frustrated. But see, Kimmy, this is where you need to realize that you might need to look inside yourself and figure out, is this what the fuck you want? Oh my God, T. But yeah, oh Jesus. But I just feel like that is, I feel like that should let her know that this is not it. And y'all don't see, y'all don't see things in the same manner, and that's just what it is. So I just feel as though that whole scene really pissed me off. It really pissed me off, and that's really all that I got for that. And at least he admitted that he had emotional unintelligence, because that's just what it is. It's definitely emotional. It's not, he doesn't have any emotional intelligence at all. But that's really all that I got for this episode. I'm finna go in text, because he's only texting me right now. He don't want to call. He just texted me and Josiah. So I'm finna go and talk to T, because he's not feeling too good. So I'm finna go and talk to T, and because he texted me and Josiah right now, and whenever he gets the chance to talk to y'all, I allow him to talk to y'all, because I know what's going on. I don't really want to say nothing publicly, because that ain't my place to do so. So I will talk to you guys for Potomac. But in the meantime, in between time, me and JoJo are talking to T. So I will talk to you guys later, and I'll holler at you guys soon. Bye.
Get that 20, yeah, you always been a sneaky bitch, hating from the sidelines, trying to get picked, yeah. You don't found one, yeah, you don't found one. You don't found one, found you a real one. On my assets lately, you catch a face, shots fired, catching babies. Heavy on the highs, better get you some gravy. Cut that lady check, why you out here being lazy? I got bored with that season, I'm talking shit when I'm spitting. Fact the bitch, I'm the reason, when it got you hoes heated. Snow got them hoes sneezing, got the meals you not eating. Where had them hoes leaking, God trust when I'm speaking. It's giving.
Big bands gon' make it hot. Real niggas gonna come up, don't let the game gon' change us. Real niggas in my circle, ho, don't ever play us. This the real hustle, we make the money, don't make it make us. They ain't bout shit, talking out they neck. Bitch, we bring the heat every time we step. You fucking with a beast, fucking with the best. Get money on the east, plug on the west. Bitch, I'm from the north, but we run it south. Bitch, we outside, what you talking about? Who the fuck is me? No, who the fuck is you? Get these niggas.